Okay. Okay, we are called to order, and what I'd like to do, I was talking with Alan and Lauren about this the other day prior to the meeting, is to actually take attendance, so we know that we have a quorum, that we can conduct business, and everyone else will know who is on the call. So Lauren, would you take attendance for us and let us know first who the voting members are as you do that? And you're on mute. Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
that's going to be Alan who's going to take that.
Alan? Oh, thank you, Alan.
Okay. So just going through the list, we have Harry representing Steve Newhouse, Lance McMillan representing Maria Teresa's Dominguez. Do we have anyone from the New York State Thruway Authority?
Hi, it's Kristen Resnikoff.
Okay, Kristen, thank you. Olu representing New York Metropolitan Transportation Authority. I see you're on the line, correct?
Thank you, yes.
Okay. Jason Morris representing Todd Benning, City of Newburgh.
He's here.
And Jacob's with us representing City of Middletown. Do we have anyone representing the City of Port Jervis? Okay, so one absence there. Just going to the town and village representation. Town of Newburgh, Gil.
Scott Manley usually sits in. He let us know that he may be late. He had a prior engagement, so he may jump on later.
Okay. And I spoke to Brian Marr earlier. I don't believe he'll be on the call today. Mike Sweeten's on for the town of Warwick. Do we have Anthony Cardone for the town of Monroe?
He is not feeling well today, Alan.
Oh, okay. Mike, thank you for that. We have Charlie Carnes representing town of Crawford, and town of Deer Park. Gary Spears, are you on? Okay. We have John Ravella representing the village of Walden, and Gedalia. Have you joined us yet?
Gedalia is here.
Okay, Gedalia, thank you. Okay. So we definitely have a quorum, and
Okay. Great.
now I guess, do you want me to go through the non-voting members? I'm not sure if there's,
Yes, if you have the list, do that.
okay, so anyone from Federal Highway Administration? New York State Bridge Authority? FTA? And Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. I think we did have, yes, Jay Sheffield.
Sheffield, yes.
Sheffield, thank you. Okay,
Okay, all right, thank you for doing that. Our first item on the agenda is an opportunity for public comment, and again, that anyone is feel free to have anything that you may want to get off their mind and share with us today. After the public comment is over, then only those members of our organization will be speaking. There won't be any additional public comment beyond what we're doing right now. So I'll open it up right now. Does anyone have anything they want to share with us today? Gedalia? You're on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
Is it the appropriate time to talk about the park and ride issue that we had a conference call last week?
Alan, what do you think?
we could probably better cover that under new business. Harry
Okay.
would be my recommendation.
Okay, sounds good. That's what we'll do, Gedalia.
Also, I did reach out to DOT on follow-up. The 7th widening and where the health study is leading us in light of the fact that the governor in the state of the state address talked about it. I understand that there's going to be progress on an EIS, and we're hopeful that someone is going to keep the OCTOC up to speed on progress on the EIS and any other progress related to that project.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? I see Mr. Fusco has joined us.
How you doing, everybody?
Good,
Well, I
good.
gotta put my hand up.
And Sharon Soons as well.
Yeah, I
And
just want to
I see-
say hello to everybody. And I'm enjoying the slalom with the potholes. I'm sure everybody is.
Jason Morris, City of Newburgh. I see your hand is up. You're on mute.
No comment, Harry, sorry.
Okay, I saw your hand. I thought you had something to say. All right, we're still in the public comment period. Does anybody else have anything else they want to contribute today? Going once, going twice. We are going to move on. Thank you. Closing public comment. Number 3 is to accept the meeting transcript. Can I have a motion on that, please?
So moved, Harry.
Second,
I wasn't there, so I can't second.
okay, I will. Any comments regarding the transcript? All those in favor of accepting it?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Next, we move to the OCTC Resolution 2022-01, SFY 2022-23, the Unified Planning Work Program adoption. And I would like to have Lauren give us a briefing on that.
All right, so as a reminder, the UPWP, the Unified Planning Work Program, presents the annual work program for the OCTC. It describes the planning and administrative activities program to be undertaken during the year. It's funded through annual allocations of 2 primary sources, FHWA's Metropolitan Planning Funds, or PLs, and FTA's Section 5303 Metropolitan Planning Program, or MPP funds. And these were all, both these funds were authorized by the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, the IIJA, or otherwise known as the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law or Bill. So the annual cycle for the UPWP is based on the state fiscal year, so it runs April 1st through March 31st. And the OCTC is the MPO for Orange County and is the entity responsible for coordinating federally funded transportation activities within the county. So as a reminder, this year's allocations for Federal Highway PL and MTA or FTA, sorry, MPP funds was approximately $877,000, including the previous backlog of allocations. Our funding level is expected to be at about $2.6 million for this state fiscal year. The draft UPWP was presented at the January Planning Committee meeting. Updates were made based on planning comments that were received from the committee, and the draft was sent to Planning Committee members where no further comments were received. The draft then went out to public comment, a 14-day public comment period from February 11th through February 24th, and also received no public comment. The draft UPWP was also reviewed by NISDOT main office and received 2 comments concerning the funding tables. The first comment was on tables 5 through 11, the FTA tables. And they just asked that we remove the toll credits that was added by accident and error when copying and pasting. So those were removed. And then the second comment was the way we showed NISDOT's in-kind services. They sent us updated tables for that in the audible budget for tables 5 through 11. And then that impacted the table 3 summary tables. There was no changes to the total funding in any of the tables, and there are no changes in the narrative section. So we asked to take action today on adopting the UPWP.
Okay, thank you, Lauren. Let's open up for comment. Anyone have anything to add or contribute or quiz? Lance, maybe you might want to say something from New York State DOT.
I don't know, Harry, you put me on the spot. Nothing urgent on this. It seems this is, I mean, Sandra, is there anything you want to add to this resolution?
No, I looked it over earlier today. It looks pretty standard. I think the comments you received were very minor and easy to address. So thank you.
Okay, thank you both. Anyone else, any of our voting members want to contribute something?
Harry, I would just say to thank the staff for doing a good job with it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, with that, I'll ask for a motion to accept this resolution.
I'll
So
make,
moved.
Second,
I'll second.
discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, it passes. All right. Our next item on the agenda is Orange County Transportation Council Resolution 2022-02, the Orange County Tip Amendment 20-12. And again, I'll ask Lauren to brief those present on the resolution. Lauren?
Yes, so this tip amendment 20-12 is has a single NISDOT project on it, pin 881355. It's the repairing the wall along 9W in the town of Highlands. This was presented at the planning committee meeting in January. It went out for a 14-day public comment period from February 11th through the 24th and did not receive any comments.
Would anybody like to make a comment now?
I missed the meeting, Harry, for January. I apologize. But the additional funding, where is that coming from, Lauren?
This is from a pin on the Mid-Hudson South TCC tip, so it's all NISDOT funding. So Sandra or Lance or Nicole, if you guys have any other comments to add on that.
No?
I do not. I don't know the exact project that we are offsetting it from. I mean, I see the pin listed. It might have been a bridge project, Nicole?
That's correct. It's a bridge project.
Okay. Okay, hearing no other comment, I'd like to have somebody make a motion to accept this resolution.
I'll make the motion, Harry. Jacob.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Michael. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? It passes. Thank you. Okay, next item is new business, and I'll open that up. Maybe Gudaya, you can talk now about your park and ride. We'll start with that.
So we had a conference call last week with, I think it was last week or something like that. We do have a park and ride project, expansion on the tip, an ongoing project, and the village currently has 3 parking areas, and the village board has determined to enlarge a different project, different parking lot than originally proposed. We raised the issue, and again, I'm proposing it now in very short form after having lengthy discussions with ACTAC staff and DOT staff on this issue. So I'm not repeating all the details. The general concept is that we have an expansion of a park and ride project currently on the tip, funded with CMEC funding, that the village requested to modify the project description from one location within the village to another parking lot location within the village. And the response we got from DOT and ACTAC staff was that instead of doing it as a modification to the tip, modifying the project location, it has to be done by closing one tip project with the current location and reopening a brand new tip number for the enlargement of the other parking lot, municipal parking lot within the village. It's going to stay at the same budget with the same funding from CMAQ, with the same general concept of adding additional park and ride spaces to the parking to the needs of the community, but instead of having it located at a park and ride facility on Bakertown Road, corner County Route 105, it's going to be enlarging of a park and ride at Forest Road and Garfield Road. Because it's not going to be a simple change of project description, it's going to be a closure of one PIN number and an opening of another PIN number. The issue had to be presented to the OCTAC for a vote, because technically speaking, when a tip is when a PIN number is closed, the money technically goes back into the larger pot, and then the money is given to the new PIN number, which requires action, formal action by the OCTAC. I'm raising the issue now in an informal way for a general discussion, as per the advice of the planning commissioner and other OCTAC staff and DOT staff. Of course, the formalities are going to be brought up and put together by DOT, giving us a new PIN number and a strip. Again, it's the same amount of funding that is currently on the tip, CMAQ funding for expansion of parking capacity within the Curtis Joel community. It's just changing it from one location to another location. I want to add to that whatever funding was already used for location number 1, and it's not going to be utilized, the village has already committed to reimburse the state for all the funding that was used. So there's going to be no lost funding, but there were many challenges with and reasoning for the changing of the location of the phase 2 of a parking facility, including factors which was created and highlighted by the COVID impact, but also other impacts on transportation and where people work and where people travel from, some of the community characters. So in light of that, we're looking to use the same amount of funding for the same general purpose, but we're going to be submitting for a new project application under a new PIN number, using the same amount of money for the same purpose. Whatever the formalities we're going to have to do, we will be working with staff, but I wanted to brief the committee on the general concept.
Okay, thank you, Gedalia. Alan, do you want to respond?
Yeah, we, based on that meeting, we absolutely agree that the current project needs to be closed out. Because the village has decided not to proceed with that project. And so the question that's going to come up, and first of all, I'll back up and say, I think the continuation of this discussion needs to be moved to the planning committee, to a planning committee meeting, because there's still details that needs to be worked out. But our recommendation would be that the village closes out the PIN 8764.41 as they have agreed to do, and to reimburse state DOT for the dollars that were expended on the draft design report. And the question that I think OCTAC and it's going to have to take up is what to do with the 2.3 million in CMAQ funding that was programmed for that. For fiscal year 2023. And I think the question is going to be, the suggestion is that it should be placed back into the CMAQ block in 2023 and then placed, and then there were, from there would be a new call for projects. So it doesn't mean that the village couldn't come back in and request a new project, but I think there are some steps, procedural steps that need to be taken place. I think the village is asking that money just be set aside specifically for the village. I'm not 100% certain that we can do that. So that's some of the details that we need to work out.
So we're leaving it for the planning committee, next planning committee meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So
I
at the
think it
next,
might be helpful, just one thing I wanted to add real quick. I think it would be really helpful if the village wanted to go ahead, I think it would be helpful to make sure that your new project idea is federally aid eligible. Have you looked into that yet?
You're asking me, Sandra?
Yeah,
How would I be able to answer that question?
okay. Well, you can have your consultant do it if there's anyone that you have access to that could help you with that. Or we could have OCTC staff and our local program staff take a closer look at your project idea. And, just kind of vet it a little bit to make sure it's federal aid eligible. Because I do know in the past, we've run into problems with how properties were acquired. So
Okay.
it's just a good thing for us to do. If we have some time between now and the next meeting, I think we should look into that.
Okay. And I
Okay.
would appreciate your help looking into that. We
Okay, very
could share this property is owned by the village for probably, I would say, over 20 years. So we're going to share those documents with the staff, and you come back with your analysis on that.
Sounds good. Thank you.
And
Thank
can I
you.
ask, Alan, can I ask you a question based on what you just said, right? I think in the spirit of the village, getting what they need, which is more park and ride space, right? You're saying we have to solicit projects, but I would think we would want some sense that we're going to support the village. If it's eligible and it's moving it there, I'd hate to see, something scoop in and grab funds, right?
And that was part of the discussion we had last week. We understand that technically, when you close a project, the money goes into the pot. Technically, it becomes open for everybody. The village, therefore, asked for it to be a project modification from location A to location B. That couldn't be done. We were looking for some sort of model understanding that this is Curtis Joel's funding on the tip for expansion of parking capacity, and it should be honored as such going forward, even though technically the money goes from the pin to the pot to the next pin. And if there is a clear understanding within the members of the ACTAC what this money is, we trust that we have a close enough working relationship with other members of the ACTAC that could be clearly stated and understood, so people understand that even though maybe on paper it looks like a call for project, but it's really the 2.3 million that's there allocated for Curtis Joel expansion of parking, going back to the pot for a technical reason, and then the applicant for that 2.3 million for expansion of parking is the village of Curtis Joel going forward. And I appreciate, Michael, you bringing that to the forefront.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. So we'll hash that out at the planning meeting, I assume, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, Jacob here. Gedali, would you need this funding in 2023?
No, we could, if the money is now available for 2023, if it could help any other community by us pushing it off maybe to 2024, we could live with that. If you have any other project in mind that could use CMAQ funding for 2023. We have done that before for Middletown and for Port Jervis, pushing off projects to accommodate other communities, and we're absolutely open for that going forward.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob.
Okay, anyone else? Any other comments?
We'll
Ellen?
just add that
Or-
CMAQ funding does have its own rules to it. So the project would have to be CMAQ eligible to receive CMAQ funding. So I
Yes.
just want to make sure that's understood as well.
Okay, and who's going to explore that?
Lauren and I will coordinate with DOT local projects to evaluate the proposed projects to ensure they're eligible.
Okay, so on the planning committee agenda next time we meet, this item will be on there to end that, to close that pin.
Yes, we can add I'll work with Nicole and we can have an action to close out the pin. And we'll also, we're still waiting on the allocations for this year. So we do need to have a discussion on future funding. So hopefully our next planning committee will have those allocations and we can look at the different funding levels for each year. We also had all of our meetings with project sponsors. So we have a good idea of which projects need extra funding, what the timelines are and whatnot. So we hope to go over all of that at the next planning committee meeting.
I do want to correct what Hetty just said. I would prefer not to have a vote to close the pin until we have more clarity on the second prong, which is the application process for the new pin. I would rather not have a couple of months lapse between closing of the pin and having the money sit in the pot without the process for applying for the money again. So I would rather not close the pin until we have that clarity. It could be done simultaneously.
Lauren, Alan, any comment on that?
We can create the tip strip for that and we can wait to put it on to the policy committee to actually have it go through. Is that correct, Nicole? So we could have it so you could see it, it would just not
Yeah.
have to be approved.
Yeah, this is Sandra. I would definitely say that it should be done, voted on during the same meeting, so, and same action. So there will be the first action to remove the one project and then, another action potentially to add this other project. So I don't see there's a reason why you can't, just wait and do them both at the same time.
We won't rush
It's
to
probably-
close it then, we'll wait till everything is coordinated.
Yeah, because it would probably be clearer too when you do that, when you go for public comment.
Okay,
Thank you.
anyone else on this topic? If not, I'll open it up to any other new business. Anyone, any member?
Just general, everybody read in all the newspapers about the bipartisan infrastructure bill. When is it trickling down to the communities? When is there going to be monies available for new rounds of projects? All the communities are desperate to get going on it.
Alan or Lauren or Lance?
Yes,
We're still
Gedalia, yes,
waiting.
yes, and yes to all the things you just said. I can't wait. I'm in the same position you are. The digestion of the bill and in conjunction with the governor's budget. As you know, we went through a capital program update, so I'm hoping good things are to come in a couple of months ahead here, and we can get some tangibility to all the potential for future funding and solicitations.
Make sure that some crumbs fall to the locals as well, not only to DOT and to the feds.
No, I think it could be pleasantly surprising for all. I think the paver pothole money could be a target for enhanced CHIPS funding and different things. So again, I don't have all the metrics. I'm not even read in on how it will all work out, but I've heard that it could be pretty decent. So let's see what happens.
Good. Thank you, Lance.
And
Thank you.
Gedalia, you also asked about the EIS for the 17 Pell continuation. I know we responded to you last week when you asked. Again, we're kind of in a holding pattern here, seeing what happens with the governor's budget. And again, we will keep you informed as we see light and progress on that front as well. You will be an active participant in all of the public hearings moving forward. We certainly want your input and ideas.
Last week I asked with a different hat. It was the Curious Joel hat. Now I asked on behalf of my colleagues as the OCTAC members.
One of these days, I gotta have coffee with you, Gedalia, so I can understand all the hats you wear. Every time you pop up with different hat on, I gotta make sure I know which one you're wearing.
Okay.
It seems that COVID is giving us some room for coffee these days. So your offer is well taken.
The political cynic in me seems to think that we'll be hearing more about infrastructure projects as we get closer to Election Day. Is there any other new business?
I think the Election Day for this purpose is primary day. So let's hope.
We have lots of elections this year. Okay, anybody else under new business? Any other topics? All right, if not, we'll move on. Number 7, reports, Orange County Transportation Council staff reports. And I will go to Alan and Lauren to talk about the West Central Transportation and Land Use Connection Study.
Okay. We are kind of in the final stretches of completing the West Central, we call it the West Central TLC study. Just wanted to provide a little context of the study. Back in 2004, the county OCTC had undertaken the Southeastern Orange County Traffic and Land Use Study that was completed back in 2004. In 2012, there's another transportation and land use study that was conducted for the Newburgh area. It was called the Newburgh Area Transportation and Land Use Study. That covered the towns of Cornwall, New Windsor, Newburgh, City of Newburgh, and Town of Montgomery. And that report was completed in 2012. One of the projects that was an outgrowth of that effort was the redesign of the fixed route bus service in the Newburgh area. And then being that really the eastern portion of the county had been covered, a decision was made back in 2019 to undertake the West Central Transportation and Land Use Connection study. And so that basically covered the remaining geographic area of the county. And so that's the geographic area that the West Central study focuses on. Its study is analyzing several hotspot areas as determined by analysis of traffic flows, traffic congestion, transit land use within the study area. As part of the study, the bus services provided in and around the city of Middletown, town of Wallkill, were also examined. And the project was kicked off in the summer of 2019. There were 4 study advisory group meetings that were held. And the focus areas that were identified that are included in the report are Route 17 Dulcin Avenue, Route 17M Dulcin Avenue, Route 211 corridor from 17, New York State Route 17 off-ramp to Goshen Turnpike, Route 94 Academy Avenue in the Chester area, and Route 94 Main Street and Colonial Street in Warwick. So we're in the process of wrapping up that study. The consultant is AKRF, sub-consultant on that plan. One of the sub-consultants is Cambridge Systematics. One of the things that has become apparent is kind of an outgrowth, similar to the outgrowth of the 2012 Newburgh study, is there's a realization that the existing fixed route service serving Wallkill and the city of Middletown, there's an opportunity to re-examine that service. And so that will likely be a subsequent study that will be getting underway to actually begin to look at that in more detail and come up with a design for redefining that route. There's propensity for transit service in the Scotchtown area. for fixed route bus service. That's something we want to take into consideration. Well, of course, before we get that effort underway, we'll be reaching out to the city and the town and other and OCTC to bring you up to speed on that. And as we wrap up the West Central study or get the final draft, we're looking to schedule both a virtual study advisory group meeting and to bring a presentation back before the Orange County Transportation Council. So sorry for that long-winded background, but that's where we are with the project, and we're looking forward to wrapping it up and coming forth with some of the key recommendations coming from the study.
Any comments, questions from any of our members? Okay,
We look forward to it, Harry. Really, it sounds to be very, very important studies, all of the aspects of it, and we look forward to working with it and looking forward to it.
okay. It's a very interesting county, being urban and rural, and trying to get everybody connected. It's a real task, but we're working on it. The next item is Jessica Ridgway is here, and it's the save the date for the Transit Subcommittee virtual meeting on March 16th. Jessica, any comments?
Yep, just to save the date, the subcommittee is established in 2019. It meets quarterly, and our next scheduled virtual meeting will be Wednesday, March 16th at 11 a.m.
Okay, any questions for Jessica?
Question for Jessica. Let's see. Looking at the calendar, March 16. Okay, March 17 is Purim holiday. Okay, March 16 is fine.
Okay, that works for everybody?
What does that cover? Is there going to be an agenda sent out for that meeting, for the transit meeting?
Yes, there will be an agenda sent out a week before.
Okay, thank you.
Jessica, I had that down at 10. Did the time get changed?
You, I think, yes, it did get changed. You have an internal save the date.
All right, thanks.
There will be another one with all of the Zoom information, and that will be updated to be at 11.
Thank you.
Okay. And then our next item on the reports, now that we're coming out of the COVID, we're trying to organize ourselves a little bit better, a little more efficiently. And we want to talk about the policy board voting member appointments. And I'll turn that over to Alan to give us a briefing on where we were, where we come from, and where we're going.
Okay, Harry, thank you. I'm going to keep this actually very brief. One thing that we noticed is that that the board appointments for the rotating town and village members, there should have been a reappointment for the term of January 1, 2021 through December 31 of 2022. Looking back at our notes, we do not believe that occurred. So those terms have carried over. We discussed this internally, and we're not looking for any action today. What we're recommending is that we just kind of continue with the current membership through the remainder of 2022, but that we will reach out to the town and village representatives to ask them to begin the process of selecting the new town and village representatives for the term beginning January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2024. But staff will send out an email to that effect. And of course, this only affects the voting members from the towns and the villages. The other members are permanent voting members.
Right, and the way that works, Alan, the villages get together, they pick 2 of their members to represent them on OCTC. And the town has
Yes.
the town has 6 members. They get together, the towns, they make their recommendations.
Yeah, but with the towns, there are actually 3 sub areas. So there's a Newburgh urbanized area, which includes town of Newburgh, town of Montgomery, Cornwall, and New Windsor. So they select 2 representatives. There's the southern area consisting of town of Warwick, town of Monroe, and also Blooming Grove, Chester, Highlands, Palm Tree, Tuxedo, Woodbury. They select 2 members. And then there's the Western Gateway area, which includes town of Crawford, town of Deer Park, Goshen, Greenville, Hamptonburg, Minnesink, Mount Hope, Walk Hill, and Wawayanda.
Okay.
And yeah,
When should they conduct that kind of voting, if you will? When should they organize themselves?
we're thinking that we would give them, we would start this process perhaps in April or May, and give them several months to coordinate that effort. I'm thinking also because, you know, there are some village elections that will take place in March, so there's no sense starting it before then. And then with the goal of, you know, making those appointments in December, November, December of this year. So, you know, give adequate lead time for deliberation and discussion. And we're still thinking, there has never really been a formal ballot process or anything like that. So anything that we're talking internally, staff, just about how we can help to streamline that. But there should be, you know, some agreed upon response, you know, in writing back to staff so that, you know, we can get it on the agenda and have those appointments.
So Harry, historically, our association can talk about this and have in the past, you know, towards the fall and make recommendations.
Okay.
You know, once those subgroup supervisors agree among themselves. I mean, I know we've sent emails in the past as a confirmation, but however you guys want to handle it, we'll discuss it certainly at an association meeting.
Great. Great.
Oh,
We just
Michael,
wanna
that's
make sure
helpful. Yeah.
Everything is done, you know, according to Hoyle,
Correct.
as they used to say last century.
And to be clear, villages cannot select before towns are selected, because the bylaw says that a village cannot be chosen if the town where the village is located is already chosen. So let's say the
That's
village
correct.
of Washingtonville cannot serve if the town of Blooming Grove is already chosen.
Correct.
So the towns have to
That's
choose first, and then all those villages are dropping off. So let's say out of the 20 villages, only 10 are in the rotation.
Correct.
Good.
Okay.
That's correct. All right, any other comments from any of our members on this topic? Okay. I guess we'll move to other member reports, and I'll just go around the state DOT. Anything you'd like to share with us today?
Nothing critical on my end, just we're all, as Gedalia pointed out, anxiously awaiting the trickle down of some of the funds. Thanks to Sandra and our team, we have done a capital program update, which hopefully will go transparent in the next month or two, showing everybody on this call, as well as the people of the Hudson Valley, what our 5-year look ahead envisions as far as capital investments. So I know we've been working behind the scenes to populate funded and unfunded lists of what's going to be in that program and not. I'm anxious to get that out so we can start the dialogue on those that are funded, and then agree upon wish list items that are projects that we would love to see funded in the future, but aren't currently encompassed within our 5-year program. Sandra, Nicole, anything else you guys want to add?
No.
So Lance, are we gonna hold off on finalizing the tip for those funding availabilities? Because if there's gonna be a new call for project for local municipalities, we want that on the next tip.
Understood. Sandra, what do you envision with how that would play out over the course of the next couple of months?
Yeah, well, what we understand right now is that, you know, hopefully soon we'll be getting what we call planning target, and we'll be able to give that information to the MPOs. And then at that point, the MPOs are going to build their capital program. There isn't going to be a lot of time. So I know a lot of the other MPOs in the Hudson Valley are envisioning block funding that they will approve for their TIPs. and then do call for projects maybe in the fall or early next year. And maybe as part of that, you know, Lauren earlier talked about she is aware of some existing projects that are short of funding. So I do know that, you know, sometimes the MPOs decide to make those projects full as part of, you know, this TIP update that we're going to be going through over the next few months. So I think there's a lot of different options probably. And I think Lauren kind of alluded to the fact that that's going to be a really good conversation for the next planning committee meeting.
We'll try not to grab money from undeveloped park and ride projects.
Leave the city of Newburgh alone too.
We have
Is there a time frame?
we have
Sorry, is
more
there a time
needs
frame
than
to get that
just
adopted?
park and ride. And
Sandra,
talking
is there a
to
time frame that
DOT,
it has to be
having DOT on cross-examination, what's the status with the TAP program? Many applications in Orange County are still pending.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't have any information on the TAP program, sorry. I think there was another question too from someone.
Yeah,
Is that-
John Rebella. Go ahead, John.
Is there a time frame? Is there a time frame the TIP has to be approved? The
Yeah, I think
deadline?
I think most MPOs are planning on approving by the end of June.
We're August,
Okay.
because
Oh,
we
yeah.
have to, we're in an air quality conformity for PM 2.5. So, we also have to, go through that process, so.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay. The
Well, let me give
MTA,
you- Harry, can I,
Go
no, I'm
ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead,
Yeah, Jacob here. Yeah, I just wanted to give you an update about the traffic operations project. We just had our pre-construction meeting with DOT and the contractor, the local projects with the contractor and our consultant, and we're moving forward. We have already requested an additional funding of $1.8 million from Orange County Transportation Council, from the available funding there. And we are short of more funding in there for construction inspection, for which we will be submitting another request, sponsor request for additional funding. I have advised the planning department staff of that, and we will be working on that second funding. So I'm really anxious. We are really anxious to find out what money is available. You know, I respect what KJ is trying to do, and we will work with that most definitely for their park and ride project. But however, if the money that is remaining on the TIP, we would like to take advantage of it so that this project, our project, traffic operation, will move forward 100% without impacting any other project.
okay. Thank you.
Harry, I
Um,
would just add, if
yes.
anyone that has any project sponsor request forms, please get those in. So we know the funding requests when we talk about the TIP.
Okay.
Are those forms available? Can you add that to the next package for the next meeting? So sponsors have those forms available for completion?
Yes, I've been sending them to anyone that asks for money that's had any funding shortfalls. I've sent that to them. But yeah,
So
I can
don't-
send out an email to all those CTC members if that helps.
So you're referring only to project shortfalls, existing projects on the TIP. You're not referring to new projects.
Yes, exactly.
I see. Why don't you send us that form as well?
Okay, I'll do that.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll continue the reports. MTA Olu Folarin, would you like to report anything?
Oh, nothing to report at this time.
Okay, well, thank you. Thruway Authority? No, okay. Let's go to Orange County DPW. Are you out there, Travis or Eric?
Ryan McGuire is here covering for Travis.
Ryan, go ahead. Anything to report from DPW?
I'm just that we're going to be finalizing and closing out our Grove Drive project in probably the next couple days here. I think we've got all our final documents in. And Otisville Viaduct project is moving along. We're just trying to finalize right away. on that. So once we have that, probably in the next 2 months, we're looking to probably get that out to bid late spring, early summer. Heritage Trail Segment 2. The Palmer Avenue to East Main Street is looking to probably be open late March, early April. And they just have to put up some railing on the Junong Street Bridge and some milling and paving at some of the crosswalks. And I guess that's almost ready to go. On Heritage Trail Segment 3, and the design is progressing from West Main to Ingracia there. So we're continuing on that. And then our PSAP sidewalk project is almost done. We had a winter shutdown just because of some temperatures, but that's going to get rolling again. We should be doing the crosswalks and some of the pedestrians and stuff like that, probably throughout April and maybe into May. And that's it for active projects. We just started our initiation documents for the new Bridge New York projects, and those are coming along and progressing as well.
Okay, well, thank you, Ryan. And Port Authority, you going to announce any major investments in the Stewart Airport? Jay?
No, not at this time.
Okay, well, hold on.
Don't have anything new to report, but you know, we haven't been at these meetings for a little while. We've had some staffing cuts, and there hasn't been anything specific on the OCTC agendas that really required our input. But I did want to, you know, show up, make sure that people, you know, didn't think that we'd forgotten about you.
Well, glad you're here. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Okay, let's see. We have a classic with us too today. John Zemansky, you have anything you'd like to contribute or add to our meeting? John? No, must have stepped out. Okay. Oh, John, go
Thanks,
ahead.
Harry. Yeah, I was on mute. Yeah, it's just my temporary assignment is ending tomorrow, so I just wanted to thank the county, and it's been a pleasure to help out. Good luck with everything.
Thank you. Thank you for your help. We very much appreciate it. And
Yes, thank you.
Rob Parrington, anything on transit you want to share? Rob?
I don't think Rob's on. He had another
Okay.
call.
We'll have to wait for next month then. Okay, is there anyone else on the group who would like to share anything on the reports or other items or business?
Yeah, hi, Harry, Jason, City of Newburgh.
Yes, go ahead.
We have the Lake Street Route 32 bridge currently under construction. That's near the New Windsor line on Route 32. Our Walsh Road Bridge project is currently in the final stages of right-of-way acquisition. We're having some issues acquiring right-of-way from CSX Railroad, but we are moving forward with that. And then we were going to get that project out to bid by the summer for hopefully a construction start later this year. We also have the Broadway pedestrian and traffic signal improvements project, which is nearing completion of final design, and that should go out to bid this year as well.
Great. Okay, thank you, Jason. Anyone else? Anything you want to contribute? Anybody?
Harry, it's John Revelle. I had a question for MTA.
Go ahead.
Was there any update on the midpoint yard?
I do not have any update to provide today on that.
Thank you.
I will report though from the MTA meeting that I was at earlier last week. There is a capital project committee that is putting forward a number of projects, and I asked them to look at the old chestnut of having a Stewart Airport connection by rail either to the Graham Line in Cornwall or as part of the infrastructure bill. There is money there also to study a possible link from Stewart Airport to the Beacon train station, and that'll be done in conjunction with Dutchess County. So those things are out there. Wherever they'll go, we don't know, but they are there and they will be looked at.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else for today's meeting? Anything? Okay. Then I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make it. Jacob.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all so much for participating today. Much appreciated. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
Thank you.